Look at this beautiful dining room in Deck 4 of the Navigator of the Seas, which we visited in May of 2025. This is the middle level of a beautiful 3-story dining room. This is our first trip on a Royal Caribbean ship in over 20 years. We had one back in 2002 and it was not a great experience. And so we kind of stayed away from Royal, but I'm glad we did try again because we had a great time on this ship. It's a beautiful ship. This dining room is gorgeous. And we had lunch here, we had breakfast here, and dinner. Right outside is part of the art gallery, which is also the photo gallery. So you can go look at any photos that were taken of you and purchase those. It also leads to the Studio B, which is the ice skating rink and nightclub, which we unfortunately didn't get a chance to try out on this trip, but I'm hoping we could take another Royal Caribbean and be able to experience that. We also didn't take any professional photos on this one, but this is where we would go to look at them and purchase them if needed. They also sell photo equipment if you need. So it's kind of an all-in-one place where you can go and hang out. And it was always kind of quiet down there. So it's a nice place for some quiet relaxation with some stunning art pieces, including this one that went floor to ceiling. It was gorgeous. Pro tip, there's also bathrooms in here if you need to use the restroom. This is inside Studio B, which again is an ice skating rink, and they have ice skating shows as well as you can rent some ice skates and try out your ice skating skills. We have moved up to Deck 4 now. There's the entrance to the dining room. There's also a little bar down here, which kind of has a Cuban flair to it. It's called Boleros. They'll have some music playing with a live band, and there's people dancing, and they have sort of mojito type drinks and comfy chairs and sort of a South Florida feel to it. There's a Starbucks right there on the right, which operates independently of the drink package. So if you have the drink package, it does not include any of your Starbucks drinks. So be prepared for that. And then of course the casino, called the Casino Royale on this ship. They have table games up over on the left, and then lots of slot machines throughout the rest of it. Personally, I found the casino a little crowded. Those chairs, when there's people sitting in them, leaves very little room for people to pass. So it's kind of uncomfortable to be playing there or having to maneuver around people. It was just a little too crowded for my taste. But there did seem to be a lot of people having fun, and I know that they do have a players club, like most other cruise lines, where you can earn points to get perks. Each cruise line has a different type of program, so make sure you check with the casino host and see what type of points you need to get for the different levels of prizes that you can get, bumps or perks or whatever you want to call it. There is a bar. There are bar waiters walking around to take your order. They will get them from this casino bar. Right up here are all the table games, if you want to try your hand at one of those. The slots aren't your thing. You can come over here, play a live game with craps, poker, blackjack, roulette, whatever strikes your fancy. Right outside the casino is this most adorable little bar that we actually spent quite a bit of time in, Schooners. They have a nautical theme, as you can see, with the ship masts. And this is where you will find a lot of the trivia games, as well as the piano singer. And I don't remember her name on our sailing, but she was amazing. It was a lot of fun. We played trivia of different kinds, Star Wars trivia, logo trivia, airline code trivia, fun stuff. This is one of their specialty restaurants called Cooked Seafood. It is an extra upcharge. We did eat there one time, and the food was mostly very good. The macaroni and cheese that was a side was cold when we received it, so that was kind of a negative, but overall the rest of the food was pretty good and the service was amazing. This is the Royal Theater, which does span 2 floors, so you can enter it on deck 4 or deck 5. Look at that go all the way up. So beautiful, every angle. There's nothing better than a ship that has an exterior promenade where you can just walk around outside, preferably without a lot of people and tables and chairs. This one is very wide open and there's not a lot of people out there usually, so you can come out and get some beautiful ocean views and a little bit of privacy and quiet. Gotta get the light ring. There's some chairs out here, but mostly it's just a quiet place where you can come and watch the ocean and get some fresh air. And it goes all the way around the whole ship, so you could do a whole lap if you wanted to. You see the edge of the slide up there that goes around outside the ship. As you can see, the weather wasn't super great for a lot of swimming in May 2025. I'm not sure what this is for. I never saw a drug sniffing dog, but apparently that's where they can go pop. Look at that wake. One of the best views on a ship. Love a good wake view. Continuing around the back of the ship. As you can see, it does go all the way around. A lot of ships do not have that, especially on such a lower deck, but the Navigator of the Seas did have it available, so you could go all the way around. In Southern California, we call this May Gray, which generally leads into June Gloom. Up this secret stairway, guess what we found? The helipad. It was not easy to find. It took us a few tries, but we did finally find the helipad. And let me tell you, the views from there were stunning. I only went up there a couple times, but there was never anybody up there. It was quiet. They have benches so you can just relax and sit. It's not very private. There are all of the forward-facing rooms as well as the bridge that looks down on this area. So keep that in mind when you find this area. It's not private, but it is quiet and amazing views from here. All those windows are people looking down at you. So you want to be careful what you do out here. This is the Star Lounge. This is where they had different shows, and also the art auction took place in here. There is a bar and lots of comfy seating all around and windows. It was overall a really nice place to sit and relax and watch the show. Upon exiting, you can see the Royal Promenade straight ahead. There are elevator banks on both sides of the staircase, so you can go onto the port or the starboard side. That is the entrance to the Café Promenade, which is their little 24-hour cafe where you can get little sandwiches, desserts, pizza, coffee, drinks, and that's all included. Playmakers also has food, but it is for an additional upcharge. They had burgers and wings and nachos, and you could play pool. There's all sorts of little table games. There's a couple arcade games. There's a foosball table. And they are playing sports all the time, so you can stop in, get a beer, have a snack. Again, it is an extra upcharge for the food though. The drinks, if you have the drink package, are included. Vintage arcade games. But there were kids in here playing as well as adults, and it was quite a fun hangout. It was crowded quite a bit, but we could always find a table. The Café Promenade. They had different sandwiches each day. Those are some of the interior cabins that overlook the promenade. You could also get some ice cream here or shakes, and they also sold Starbucks coffee there that was not at the other Starbucks location. They have Coke freestyle machines. If you get the drink package, you get a cup that works on those machines, and you could get all of the fancy freestyle Coke drinks your little heart desires. The Copper and Clover is kind of a take on a British pub. We had a few drinks out here. This is actually on that one of the outside tables is where we sat for the 80s party, which was a great location. We had a seat. We got there early, and we were able to hear and see all of the action without it being super overly crowded. Right across the way is the Dry Bar, which is their salon. Oh, to dry for. Apologies. To dry for, which is their salon. You can get your hair a blowout or a cut or an updo for formal night, whatever you want. And some stairs that lead back down to the casino. So you can pop up and get a snack if you want and go back down. The Bamboo Room had one of my favorite drinks, which was Benny's Mai Tai. It was very delicious. And it's a very tropical kind of feeling. It was very fun. Reminded me of Hawaii a little bit. The tropical little Polynesian flair. It's tiki time. And then there's Cliff. Cliff will talk to you if you sit there. He has lots of different things that he can say to you.
Probably want a cocktail.
Look how cute the lighting is in here. And the fans moving slowly. It's just, you immediately relax and sort of breathe a sigh of relief when you go in here because it's just a very relaxing atmosphere. Where Playmakers is kind of very sportsy and everybody's very active. It's very quiet and relaxing in here. So it's a very different vibe. Across the way is the store that sells anything Royale logoed. Sweatshirts, cups, mugs, toys. And what's this? The Thing. An interesting automobile choice from Volkswagen. I see very few of these out on the road. But it's kind of a cool beachy type of car. Again, those are all rooms if you would like. Port Merchants is where you can get your duty-free alcohol and other little sundries if you need them. Out here we have the shore excursion desk as well as guest services. If you need any assistance with anything, they can help you with your bill, you have a question, luggage tags, lost and found, whatever you need, they can help you there. They were also able to punch a hole in my Sail Pass card so I could attach it to my lanyard. This is the R Bar. We like to call it Bar R, which you may get as a reference to the smart elevators on a Carnival ship. But this was another place that we like to hang out. We had great service, delicious drinks, and it's comfy. This is also where you will wait if you have the chef's table reservations. This is where everybody seems to meet and get their glass of champagne before they went on the tour. That's more of that art sculpture that goes all the way up to the top from down on the 3rd floor. It goes way up to the top. It was beautiful. Very great photo opportunities there if you want to take your photo in front of it. This is the entrance to the dining room. One of the entrances. There's an entrance on each of the floors, 3, 4, and 5. This is deck 5, so this is the very top of the dining room. It's beautiful chandelier, so stunning. Lots of tables down there. They do offer tables for 2, but as you can see, the tables for 2 are very close to another table for 2. So they're almost tables of 4. But that's what cruising's about. You get to talk to new people and meet new friends. They also have a future cruise desk, which they call Next Cruise. So you can go in here and talk to them about booking your next cruise. Also good to note is that if you booked your cruise with a travel agent and you go here and you book another cruise, your travel agent will still get credit and be your travel agent for that cruise. So you're not taking something away from someone if you decide to book there, which I think is a very great feature. Library and card room, just a quiet place if you want to go play a game of cards or a game of checkers or Scrabble. They have lots of games and you can bring your own games, obviously, and some books to borrow. I believe you could take the games out and take them to your room, but just be respectful and bring them back so that other people can enjoy them as well. But it's up a little bit from the promenade, so it's quiet in here so you can relax. Oh, the elevators tell you what day of the week it is. And then with this I'd never seen on our ship before, which I thought was very clever, which is a listing of all the floors and what is on those decks, which I think is very handy. Up on Lido deck, deck 11, there's Johnny Rockets, which is an extra charge. One price gets you a burger, fries, and a drink. I believe it's $14.99 as of May 2025. It's a splash pad for the little kids. They do have to be potty trained. They do not allow unpotty trained children to be playing for obvious reasons. That can close down pools and areas for hours at a time, which isn't fair to anybody. These are little casitas that you can rent. El Loco Fresh serves Mexican food. You can get tacos, burritos, nachos, and there's an extensive salsa bar as well that you can add. And look at that. They make your tortillas fresh right there in the tortilla machine. Washy washy. Tons of seating out here. Seating for eating, seating for relaxing, seating for sunning, seating for, what is it called, shading? I like to be in the shade, so I'm always looking for a shady spot. The cutest little seating area that looks like a little fifth wheel trailer. How cute is that? You sit there and you eat your ice cream and watching the pool deck. This is the bottom floor of the Lime and Coconut Bar. I have never seen so much Malibu rum in all my days as there is in that bar. Delicious drinks in there. Very crowded because it's the main bar on the pool deck. This is where you get your soft serve. They do serve it for you. It's not self-serve, but they will give you ice cream cones or however many you ask for, vanilla or chocolate or a swirl. The Solarium is an adults-only area for relaxation. So there's no loud kids splashing in the pool over here. So you can have a little bit of peace and quiet. And this hot tub is in the shade, which I personally appreciate. But there is also a bar here, as well as a pool and another hot tub on the other side. And plenty of seating again as well. Again, this is for adults only. Cute little seating areas everywhere. This is just a little secret spot Tony found just a very small little outer deck. Getting close to Ensenada. Like sunny side up eggs, right? That's all I saw every time we took the stairs. In deck 12, there's this little bridge that joins the two sides of the ship. You can look down on both sides. This is the upper view of the Solarium area down there. Extra padded seats down there and lots of little tables. The Lime and the Coconut also has a rooftop, which is at the very, very top. You go up the stairs. There's no bar or anything up there. It's just seating and a great view. There are 2 levels of the Lime and the Coconut bar, though. So if one is a little bit crowded, go to the other one. Those are little casitas that you can rent on port days or on sea days. If you wanted to have a little extra privacy, extra guaranteed service, and they do have a little cooler for cool drinks as well as a outlet for charging. I found them to be quite expensive and unnecessary for our needs, but I could see a case if that's something you would like. They were on all different decks and in all different locations, close to the pool, far from the pool. So you have lots of different choices. And look at this miniature golf. How cute is that for the kids and bigger kids? Come up, play a round of mini golf. Very whimsical. Down the helipad again. Cool little water feature. Probably better on a hot day. Today was not that day. This is the middle level of the Lime and the Coconut Lounge. So they have the big seating area. There's also a band that plays up there, and this will give you a great view of anything happening down on the pool deck. But again, it was also got very crowded, so if you want to sit up there, I suggest getting there early. Lots of pool space, water space for you to splash or swim, whatever your level is. This is a closer look at one of the casitas. Big screen TV, they could play movies, or a lot of times they had those funny little shorts playing. World's Craziest Fails or Funniest Animals. That is the smoking section. Track, 1 mile is 8 laps. They also have a rock climbing wall. No excuse not to get your steps in on a Royal Caribbean ship. Between the rock wall and the FlowRider and pickleball and basketball and the walking track, you get your steps in. Plus you could take the stairs. That's what we do. Most of the time. Is one of the water slides that they have on board. They have 2 different ones. Both of them require some type of floating device. Not a floating device. Some type of pillow that you need to use to go down the slide. You pick those up, you carry it upstairs, and then you go down the slide. People look like they were having an amazing time. It's also come and play some ping pong ball. Plenty of stuff for kids to do. They each have their own little rooms that are designed for their age groups, from little kids, royal babies, to teenagers. Something to do for everybody, and they can find people their own age. the entrance out to the sports court. There's another view of some of the slides. That's the stairway you'd walk up to go to the top of the slides to make your descent. FlowRider. I am not brave enough to try the FlowRider, but there were people who definitely have done it before, and they were great. A few wipeouts, but most of the people were very good, and that is an extra upcharge if you wanted to do the FlowRider. The slides are complimentary, but the FlowRider is an extra fee. The back deck leads down over to the living room, which is one of the teen areas. I would like to hang out here if I was a teen. They got their own little lounge chairs and comfy chairs and a TV. That door was never open when we were over here, so I didn't get to see inside. But it looks like a cool place to hang out for teenagers. And I love that name, the living room. Meet me at the living room. Slowing down a lot. Looks like we're headed into Ensenada. As with most ships, gorgeous views from every angle. That's the part of the water slide we saw earlier that goes out over the ship. Look at these characters up there watching everybody. We couldn't go up there, that was reserved for suite guests. But it was a funny little whimsical touch that they added. Ensenada in sight. Oh, meet us here. Carnival Radiance. Sails from Long Beach, which is just around the corner from San Pedro, where the Royal Caribbean dock is. Where the sea lions like to hang out. We'll post some video later, but we saw lots of sea lions on this visit. Another look at the pool deck before it gets crowded. Lifeguards are on duty. Keep an eye on your kids, but remember, you need to keep an eye on your kids as well. They're not babysitters, they're just lifeguards. Several hot tubs. On an overcast day like this was, warm you up. Different kids' rooms and the arcade. Lots of fun games for the kids to play. Traditional arcade games like Pac-Man, and then more interactive games like air hockey and skee ball. There's claw machines. You can win prizes. Remember, if you have kids, you can set a limit on their cards so they don't break the bank when they're in the arcade, because I'm sure it would be very easy to do. So make sure you set a limit. Infamous ducky machine. Every ducky in there was logoed with the Royal Caribbean anchor. So it's a cheap souvenir if that's what you're looking for. This is the Japanese restaurant, Izumi. It is also an extra upcharge. They serve fresh sushi and other Japanese dishes up here with amazing views way at the top of the ship. we also did not get a chance to eat here. They have an escape room up on the very top. We also didn't get to do that, but that is also an extra fee. You can go take part in their escape room adventure. And right next door is one of my favorite places, which was the Cosmopolitan Club. It's amazing sweeping views of the entire Lido deck, the sides of the ship so you could see outside. They have a bar in there so you can get drinks and just relax. Hopefully you get a window seat so you can look out. It was amazing. And it was never super crowded when we were up there. There was also a private event took up place up here, so you could probably book it for an event if you want. Reach out to your royal representative for that. But it's gorgeous up here. Look down on the whole pool deck from up here. Hot tubs, pools, splash pad. The bar is called, fittingly, the Crow's Nest. Traditionally the top of a ship. This is the Suite Lounge, where if you are a suite guest, you can go in there and relax and hang out. And I believe they have some food and drinks in there, complimentary for suite guests. I'm sure they play some jazz music up here. There's a piano. It was a lovely place to visit. Artwork everywhere you look, on the walls, and even the elevators just adds to the decor of the ship. The Windjammer buffet on the aft or back of the ship was also the entrance to two specialty restaurants. Jamie's Italian, which is the chef Jamie Oliver, has an Italian restaurant. And across the way is Pop's Grill, which is the traditional royal steakhouse. Both of these restaurants do have an extra upcharge, so you can make reservations for those on the app or at guest services. We unfortunately did not get to eat at either one of those. Breakfast has started in the Windjammer buffet. This is the main buffet on the ship. It's very large. It runs all the way down on both sides. And you could get breakfast items, so biscuits and gravy, eggs, pancakes, sausages, bacon. They also have different stations for you could get deli food, you could get hamburgers or hot dogs, a lot of Indian food, different international cuisine. They have juices for you. They will serve the juices for you. It's not a self-serve, but there were always plenty there available for you. You get your condiments, go out in the seating area out there, which was beautiful views again, just large floor-to-ceiling windows where you could see outside. Yogurt, cereals. Obviously, this is breakfast. There was different food for different times of day, but it is breakfast, so they have all the breakfast foods out. And there is also a bar where they also make specialty coffees if you want it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you get a chance to go on the Navigator of the Seas. Please let us know in the comments below your thoughts on the Navigator of the Seas or Royal Caribbean in general. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.